Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be going over on how to light an interview with only using natural light sources. All right, so this is our setup. Adrian is our stand-in here, and then we're shooting on the red Komodo digital 6K, and we have a 50mm lens on that. When it comes to interviews, for our main angle, we like to use a 50mm or a 35. I find 50 is the most flattering when it comes to shooting people, just because of how the focal length operates and how it shapes the face. So we walked into this space here and we wanted to shoot an interview facing straight onto the camera. So how do you exactly do this in terms of making the most interesting composition as well as lighting the subject properly? So we looked for the L in the room. You can shoot any basically corner you look at, but you want to look at what light sources you have. So we found this L back here, and it has enough visual interest in terms of what's on the right side of the frame. We have some personal objects in terms of who lives in the house. We have this nice window here, and then we have a nice cabinet on the back, which is casting some reflections that you can see the windows here. And then we just have a white wall, which still works as well. It's not as important to have anything on that wall. There was a picture, but we actually moved it. And then the next thing we looked at is the actual light sources we have in the room in terms of natural light, because this is a natural light interview where he's looking directly at the camera. So when looking at the actual light source in the room, this is our biggest light source in terms of all the windows in the room. So this is going to be our main key. And when deciding where to put camera, we have to look at where the lights are going to be in terms of the sunlight. And then camera is going to be on the shadow side. I'm just going to reference this camera here. So because we're keying him from this way, our shadow is going to be on this side, and then our camera is going to be slightly off to subject's right, and then if we're looking at him, it's to the left. The next thing, another source we have here is this back window, and then we saw that just having these normal shears, we couldn't just shoot straight into the window because it's the middle of the day, and this was going to be way too hot. So these set of shears were already in the house, which helped diffuse the light even further. But the real main problem was that the shears weren't cutting enough light, and the contrast ratio between his skin and also this window was way too high. So these windows were absolutely gone. So what we used is these shears. And these shears are actually really inexpensive. It's a 20-foot by, I believe, 8-foot span. It's a really weird length. But these are just $20 shears that you can get on Amazon, or you could probably get them from any local supplier that sells similar shears to these. So these are half-stop shears, and then what we did, we just doubled it up, so it's giving us a full stop of light. And unfortunately, it didn't cover the full window. Here we have some light escaping in the back, but it's something that you can't even notice in camera because we have so much separation between the subject and these windows. So there's just really nice separation between the subject and background, and it blurs a lot of the stuff out back here, which you can probably see in the main camera. And the last thing we're gonna do is actually put more shape on the subject, which is doing this by this 4x8 floppy. So this actually folds up, sorry Adrian, give me a second, and then it Velcros up there. But what this is doing is it's adding a nice cove and a nice shape to his shadow side. So what I can do is I'm gonna fold this out, and I'm gonna option it out. Hopefully I don't hit anything. And then you can see, even though I'm still cutting some light, there's not a lot of shape. And then once I add it back in, hopefully that's out of frame. And then we have a lot more shape coming in this hole right here. So his light side is nice. We have actually nice Rembrandt lighting with a triangle on the side of his face there. And that just gives us a nice contrast when looking at his face. So if you don't have one of these 4x4 floppies, again, you can get similar diffusion material to that, but it's actually a black neg, and you can get on Amazon too. I believe it's 20 bucks as well. And then you could just simply tape this to the ceiling, and then we have a wall back here and tape it to that as well, or even tape it to the stand. The floppy just gives us a lot of convenience when actually shaping the light of the subject. So obviously if you don't have this, because this is like a very expensive piece of equipment, there's so many other things that you can use. You can even hang up a t-shirt. We've done this on a lot of sets, and just have it here. You don't have to have the whole cove. So we just want to shoot this video to show you that you can actually light a good looking interview with natural light. Obviously, there's a lot of variables you're dealing with here, because when we walk into spaces, we like to black out all the windows and then relight with our own lights. But if you're looking to be nimble, if you have a really small crew, or if you can't even afford lights, there's solutions around this and lighting with natural light. The big thing you have to consider is the time of day. Currently, it is 3 o'clock and the sun is in a perfect position in terms of where it is hitting this window. So there's a lot of things you have to consider when using natural light, because you wouldn't be able to run a consistent interview over an hour because the sun is always moving. A big thing we want to do is just show the basic concepts of lighting, and what better way to do that is with natural light. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions for us, let us know in the comments below. If you want to see more lighting breakdowns like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe!